All right, we're back.
All right.
Question 20. Yeah,
Okay.
this is
All
where
right.
we left off. When it comes to deer hunting in Nevada, which of the following statements best describes what is most important to you? I want to go deer hunting every 1 to 3 years. Going deer hunting regularly matters to me. I will wait 4 to 7 years to draw a tag, if that means I can see mature deer on the landscape. I don't care if it takes 8 to 10 years to draw a tag. I want to hunt the best units in the state. D, none of these statements accurately describes how I feel about deer hunting in Nevada. So this one to me is kind of a cop-out on NDOW. They're not recognizing what hunters truly want. Because what hunters truly want, they want to hunt every year.
Yeah.
And they want to have the chance to hunt mature deer every year. So I feel NDOW should have worded this question. We understand hunters want to hunt mature deer every year. But in the years that we cannot provide that, would you rather?
Yeah.
That's my big gripe with this question, is like, they're ignoring what every hunter wants. Every hunter wants to hunt deer every year, and they want the opportunity to hunt mature deer every year. And we want NDOW to manage for that, and we want them to accomplish that goal. And they're just not recognizing what we want in this question. So it's like, this question gives a lot of hunters angst, because it's like, are you so dense you don't understand what we want?
Yeah. Well,
And they're making it to where it's like, you have to choose one or the other. It's like, no, we want both.
yeah.
Make both happen.
Yeah, and that's the long game, right? Is to make both happen.
Right.
But as Nevadans, like, we live in a pretty special state.
Yes.
You can hunt mature deer in every county and every
unit.
in this state. I mean, there's a potential to kill something pretty nice. So
Yeah.
don't take that for granted. If you don't hunt out of state, you may not know what we're talking about. It may seem kind of one-sided, but if you've ever hunted out of state,
You know.
like, we have something special in Nevada, and we want to keep that. So we don't ever want to go the other way, where we're like, okay, we want to hunt every year, we want to hunt mature deer every year, but even if we don't have mature deer, we still want to hunt every year.
Yeah.
No,
You end up
in
like
my opinion, you really want to just be patient and be the 1 to 3 year guy or person, and be the 4 to 7 year person.
Yeah, because
it'll come back. If we do it right, it'll come back.
Yep.
And we can hunt, in 1 to 3 years we can hunt.
Yeah,
So,
1 to 3 years you'll have the opportunity to hunt mature deer.
yeah.
And like, we both hunt out of state.
I'd rather wait. If it was an I'd rather,
Yeah.
I would rather wait 4 years for a deer tag in Nevada.
It's like all the other western states manage for quantity. Like, they're managing to give the most amount of tags. And you see it when you hunt Utah, like,
Utah,
don't set your
Colorado,
sights bigger than shooting a
general
40.
season Idaho.
You know,
It's
like you're lucky to see deer in some, like Idaho, a lot of units you're lucky to even see a deer, but California, Utah, even Colorado nowadays, like, you're not finding a mature deer. You go into that hunt expecting to kill a 2-3 year old buck at most.
Yeah.
Like, Nevada, we have something special. We don't want to manage for quantity of tags.
Oh, yeah, that's not.
We're the only western state that manages for quality.
And we were talking about it earlier. There's not a non-resident applicant that is gunning for Nevada to shoot a fork and horn.
Yeah, when non-residents have to wait so long to get a Nevada tag, you're going to lose all your non-resident applicants, which are half of the money that NDOW gets in applications.
Yeah.
You're going to lose all those applications if they come here and their chances of a forky.
So
if they don't have a chance at the reason they're applying in Nevada,
so they can kill something decent.
is so they can get a big buck, because a lot of Utah hunters, they're used to going out and seeing, like a 140 class buck is a big buck to them.
Yeah.
That's a wall hanger trophy, like possible once in a lifetime.
And it is to me when I go out of state too.
Yeah. And it's like,
I'm like 140,
they put in
150.
for Nevada because they know they have the chance at a really big mature buck.
Yeah.
And as a resident, like, we're spoiled on that. And a lot of people don't recognize that because they don't hunt out of state.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
So let's keep Nevada the way it's been kind of going.
And there's
we've
plenty
been doing a good job.
Yeah, there's plenty of Nevada. NDOW does a great job.
Stop killing does.
Yeah,
Yeah.
stop killing does. Don't bring back toe tags.
Yeah.
But like NDOW does, of all the western states I've hunted, NDOW does the best job managing wildlife.
Yep.
Oh, there was one other thing I was going to say about that. Oh, you can kill a 200-inch buck in every unit in Nevada.
It's about every unit.
Every unit.
Yeah.
Okay, I guess I'll stop with
Okay,
that.
cool.
Question 21.
All right, 21. The department manages Nevada's mule deer population using a buck to doe ratio of 30 bucks to 100 does. Using that ratio, Nevada manages for bucks on the landscape and issues fewer tags compared to many other western states. With that in mind, what would you prefer? A, continuing managing for a buck to doe ratio as is. B, lower the buck ratio, increase tag number recommendations. C, increase a buck ratio, reduce tag number recommendations. D, I don't understand the buck to doe ratio or its bearing on tag numbers. And E, I'm not sure.
I'm going to say continue managing for a buck to doe ratio as is without managing doe deer. Like, no more doe tags, quit killing deer. You have that control sex, and then you manage the bucks accordingly, because what we were talking about earlier, you can manipulate the amount of buck tags, you can manipulate that ratio if you're harvesting both.
Yeah.
So I don't think that's a good system, but
And I think
still, even that's a small gripe, because they don't over-manage, like, they don't over-allocate doe tags. It's always been maximum 3% of the population of deer within the state. Nevada, by far, for all the Nevada residents out there that think Nevada, like NDOW does a horrible job, they do the best job of all the wildlife agencies in the West.
I would like to see what it looks like, though, if we don't shoot does for a while.
I would love to see. I don't think we should shoot does until we have a population of 150,000.
I mean, yeah, it's...
And even then, like, you're going to have to convince me why we need to shoot does.
Yeah. And there's a lot of factors, and we're not bagging on any of the biologists out there, but...
No, they do a great job, comparatively.
But it'd be interesting to see, especially in areas...
There's always room for improvement.
Especially in areas that have enough to sustain bigger populations of deer. And some of these burn units that we're coming out of now, after 4 or 5 years of burn, in the winter range, and maybe we're getting, maybe we can sustain more deer. I don't know. But I'd like to see what it looks like.
Yeah.
Yep.
All
right, 22.
Currently, hunters who draw a tag for horns longer than ears antelope and antlered elk or bighorn sheep ram are subject to a waiting period. Being in a waiting period means you cannot apply for or accrue points for a specific hunt. Are you in a waiting period for any of these hunts? I just finished my elk waiting period.
Yeah. I think I'm still in waiting period for sheep.
Yeah. I like the waiting periods.
I'm good with them.
Yeah.
Because I had an opportunity to get a tag, and that's pretty rare.
Yeah.
Especially when you're talking about sheep.
It helps everybody have an opportunity.
It helps everybody have an opportunity.
I like it.
No, I'm good with waiting periods.
Yeah.
And honestly, I'm good with where they're at now, because they've decreased by 3 years. They've decreased the elk.
Yeah.
They've decreased antelope by 2 years.
Yep.
So you're 3 and 7.
Yep.
Yeah, right. So I mean, it's no, I'm good. I'm good waiting.
Yeah. No, I think it's great. I like the waiting period.
All right, 23. Right.
Yep.
Yeah. 23. Below you will see the current waiting period duration for each hunt on the left. Please fill in the right column using the drop downs to tell us how long you think waiting period should be for each hunt. Select a number 0 to 10. Current waiting period, there's a column. So you got a column that says 3 years, horns shorter than ears, or horns longer than ears, antelope. 7 years for antlered elk, 10 years for desert bighorn sheep is where we're currently sitting.
Yeah, so it's basically just asking the people who got the survey, how long do you think the waiting period should be for antelope, elk, and bighorn sheep? I love where elk and bighorn sheep are. Antelope, you could probably get away with 2 years instead of 3, but I got no gripes on the 3-year wait. I think it's fine.
Yeah, it used to be 5.
Yeah, it used to be 5 if you harvested.
Elk used to be 10.
If you harvested,
yeah, if you harvested.
Now it's either way.
Either way.
3 or 7.
And honestly, I'm good with it.
Yeah.
the buildup is kind of fun.
Yeah.
And yeah, you may wait another 9 years after that 7-year waiting period to get a tag, but
Yeah.
you know,
it
it's special.
gives everybody a better opportunity because if you drop those waiting periods, you have more people in the pool, and you're going to be even your odds of drawing are going to be even less.
But you're not going to kill. You know, if you decrease that substantially, you're just not going to see the quality.
Yeah, well, it's going to be harder to get a tag, right? Because you're just adding more applicants.
Just adding more applicants.
Yeah. So no, I like where they're at. I got no gripes. I would like to see elk. I'll say this. I like to see elk down to a 0-year wait period. And I would like to see the elk management plan opened up, and I'd like to see elk from one end of the state all the way to the other, and I'd like to see big herds. Because elk are the most adaptable animal there is.
And I would disagree with that a little bit because there's mule deer country in this state that has been completely overrun by elk. And now that I've seen some of those units not have elk or not the abundance of elk, the mule deer are coming back.
That's fair.
And
that's a study that NDOW needs to do.
I like to see these big mature mule deer on the landscape.
I want to see if NDOW can do a study with that, especially in northern Nevada, because Kevin Monteith, a researcher out of Wyoming, he did a study in the Wyoming range of deer and elk and found that elk absolutely do compete and impact mule deer.
They impact mule deer, and I've seen it firsthand as a guide
for
20 years. I mean,
there's a lot of places in Nevada where they're completely different biomes, right? Yes. But there 100%. Is a section in northern Nevada, in Elko County,
yes,
where they share the same habitat.
And yeah, I can. The impact the elk have is pretty substantial. So on the mule deer.
Yeah, and I'll take your word for that because you have boots on the ground for 20 years ago. And
it's good to see where some of the mule deer are coming back in some of these areas.
Okay. 24. Overall, to what extent do you trust the Nevada Department of Wildlife to do what is right for wildlife in Nevada? Almost always, most of the time, only some of the time, almost never, I don't know.
I'm going to say for myself, most of the time, other than doe hunting.
Yeah. I'm going to say the same.
I don't know why.
Most of the
I'm
time,
so stuck on
other than doe deer
shoot
hunting.
Does, man.
Yeah, it's a terrible
not doe
idea.
mule deer. Not doe mule deer.
Yeah. No, quit killing doe mule deer.
Yeah, just partial.
Yeah, most of the time, people don't know. Unless you hunt out of state, you don't know how well NDOW manages
They manage
wildlife.
Well. So well.
They are the best agency in the West. All right.
25. Have you ever had a Nevada big game tag?
Yes.
Yes. Easy.
Yeah. Approximately how many years has it been since you had a Nevada big game tag? Select number of years. You drew last year.
I drew last year.
I draw every year.
I think I draw at least a tag every year.
Thing. People that complain about not getting a tag are people that put in for one unit specifically,
and that's it.
And they want to hunt those units, and they've been putting in for it for 5 years. They can't understand why they haven't drawn a tag. There's up until the last 2 years, I think, there was always leftover tags that went into second draw. Like, if you want to get a tag, you can get a tag every single year in Nevada.
Yeah.
And there were leftover junior tags,
whether it's a cow elk tag, a short and ears tag, a mule deer tag.
Archery deer. Muzzleloader. Like, you can get tags every year.
Yep.
Yeah.
26. About how many years have you been hunting for?
My whole life.
Yeah, that's a really weird question. Please enter a number of years. Oh, okay.
Yeah, my dad was taking me hunting as soon as I came out the womb.
Yeah.
So, while I was in the womb, we were going hunting.
Yeah.
Are you currently, please check all that apply, employed full-time, employed part-time, retired, a student, unemployed, none of the above?
Oh, interesting. How they categorize that. Yeah. All right, well, yeah. Okay, answer how you will. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
28.
I'm employed full time. Yeah. Answer how you will. Yeah.
Yeah. 28. Are you? Please check one. Male, female. Okay.
Non-binary.
Non-binary. Did you say that?
No, it says
prefer not to answer. Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Definitely male. I identify as male. I identify as a straight white male.
And then they have what is your age? So we can go through these pretty quickly. What is your ethnicity?
Yeah.
Yeah, you always mess up.
Joel, you're white, right?
Oh, yeah, I'm super white.
Blanco.
And then 31. You want to cover 31?
All right, 31. If you have any thoughts or feedback for the department that you'd like to share related to the survey or otherwise, please do so here. This survey should have gone to everybody.
It's gone. It's done. We did it.
The survey should have gone to every hunter that applied last year.
And you know what? It's good.
Especially the hunters that have applied the last 5 years. It's a phenomenal survey.
Really
they did
good survey.
Such a good job.
Yeah.
The one part they screwed up on was this survey didn't go to everybody.
Yeah.
It should have gone to everybody. It should have been everybody's decision whether or not they wanted to answer it. Because I'm very upset. I didn't get to put my input in.
They probably would have increased their feedback and data pool by at least 70%.
75%. I mean, they get sent it to 25%, right? So probably 70% because a lot of people are going to answer this survey.
Because anybody, and if you're watching this video, I mean, most people in Nevada, especially residents, are going to want to voice their opinion on this.
Yeah,
especially with the questions they laid out.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's...
Yeah, the survey should have gone to everybody. I think they really messed up by not sending it to everybody.
And then the results. And what do we know about the results of these surveys?
Yeah.
Please
know? Tell us the results of the surveys. Like, don't keep it a secret. The public, like, wildlife is owned by the public and managed by the state for public interest. So it's like, it is our right to know. I mean, when you break it down by, like, it just common sense wise.
Yeah.
Like, we have the right to know the results of this survey.
They asked some really good questions in this survey. And let's just say, for example, let's just pluck out, when you don't get a tag, do you hunt other states?
Yeah.
Well, if you have, and I'm not going to pick on any county, so I'm not going to be biased, but you know what I'm talking about. If you're somewhere where all you're doing is putting in for Nevada, and your opinion is, I should hunt every year, I don't care what the maturity level is, whatever. Yeah. Well, that's different than, I choose to hunt out of state, I choose to go other avenues. That way we can, when I do hunt something in Nevada, it is quality, it's fun, it's mature deer, elk, whatever.
Yep.
You know?
The survey should have gone to
So it would give us a comprehensive look at, and I'm sure they're breaking down the data with the 25%, but.
Yeah. I mean, I understand it's like, it's a big enough pool, they'll probably get close to the same results, but like, you also want to win over public approval, and this is now dissenting 75% of the public because they didn't get a survey. So like, it would it take 5 extra minutes to send the survey to everybody?
And it might be that other 75%, let's say 50% of those 75% sways it to a different direction on how they're going to manage. I mean, it's...
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So get it out to everybody.
Yeah.
I'll fill it out. I
agree. Give it out to everybody.
You make everybody do an HIP number survey every year.
Yeah. Yeah, you do a hit number. But also, you have to do a harvest report.
And you got to do a harvest report every year.
Like, give us a survey.
Why would you not make us do that? I would gladly do this if it was mandatory.
Oh my God, I would love to do this.
Yeah.
I want more involvement with NDOW. I want more surveys like this.
Yeah. I mean, it's...
Yeah. It's great. It was a great survey. The other thing I would say is quit killing doe deer. Leave the doe tags alone for a long time.
Let's just see what it does.
Yeah, and that's something I tell my buddies at NDOW. I was like, hey, let's experiment. Like, you can take one unit.
Yes.
And you can start experimenting, whether you remove all the horses from that one unit, or you remove a drastic amount of predators from that one unit, or you remove a lot of the PJ, and just see what happens over 10 years. See which one works the best.
And
whether it's predator, horses, or PJ removal. Like when you're in drought cycles, try to lessen the bleeding best you can, and a lot of times, like that means more experimentation. Like Nevada is so unique; it's so different than all the other states.
Yeah, and especially in places that have big migratory patterns that where deer especially move a long ways, and it's like
one of the biggest migrations.
You may populate an area at the end of that winter range that hadn't seen a deer number like that for a while. Yeah, because not all of them will come back. Yeah. Maybe some decide to stay. I don't know. I'm just speculating.
There's always rogue deer.
I'm not the biologist.
Yeah. Like by and large, deer will go, once they're, become of age, they'll go to the same spot for the summer and the same spot to winter every year. But that starts at like 3-4 years old. Like those first couple of years, they're all over the place. And not every deer is the same, There's always going to be rogues that go off and do their own things.
Yeah, and we've seen some data with
Yeah.
area 10 deer that have ended up clear down in into the Lund and the 221 area.
Down south of Ely.
Yeah.
I mean, there are deer that hard winter that actually surprised a lot of guys in NDOW because they went on these crazy long migration paths that they had been collared for years and tracked for years, and they did the same thing. That hard winter hit, and
that's
they were off the map.
That's probably our heyday, unit 13 years, and
Yeah.
those were probably unit Ruby Mountain deer.
Oh yeah, they probably
You know what I
originated
mean?
from rubies. Yeah.
Yeah, because But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed
Yeah.
what we did here with the survey. I think it's important that we get it out there, and I really think it's important that NDOW gets it out to everybody.
I think so too. I think NDOW does such a good job managing our wildlife comparatively to all the other western states. Like, they are top notch, the best one by far.
Yeah.
But they really lack sometimes on public approval, and it's things like this where only a quarter of the people got a survey, where it's a phenomenal survey, and now 3/4 of the people are feeling left out and that their voice doesn't matter.
Yeah, and for any NDOW,
that's not good.
don't be afraid of some constructive criticism or positive reinforcement with some of the findings from this survey.
Yeah, I mean,
Because it's just going to help. It's just going to help strengthen what you've got going on.
we're voicing our opinion on YouTube. We didn't get a survey, so
Yeah.
our opinion only matters to them if they care.
Yeah, whoever cares.
We didn't get a survey. This is just our opinion that we wanted to share with the other 75% that didn't get a survey.
Yeah, and if you want a voice, you can write. You can email, right?
Email.
Down.
Yeah, email NDOW and just say, hey,
We think
when you
everybody
do
should get
survey,
the
send me
survey.
one, please.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Well,
cool.
thanks for being patient with our technical difficulties and what
Yeah.
have you. But
We're getting the
it's been
kinks
fun.
worked.
Yeah, it's been fun.
I got to learn not to talk over you.
No, you're good. I have to too.
We're getting the kinks worked out.
Yeah.
All right. Till next time. We got a cool treat next time.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think we might get a video out before it, but we got a really cool treat. Someone who has experienced deer hunting in Nevada
Yep.
for, get this, over 60 years.
Long time.
The second largest buck ever shot in Nevada, non-typical. She was deer hunting that year that he shot that buck.
Oh, really?
She was deer hunting for years before that, too.
No kidding. Huh.
So we got a lot of boots on the ground experience coming
Heck
up.
yeah. All right. See you next time.